Ugandans are increasingly feeling the impact of rising living costs after UBOS reported an increase in annual service inflation from 4.1% in April to 4.6% in May 2026. The latest Consumer Price Index indicates growing prices pressures across the services sector, contributing to the rise in the overall annual inflation from 3.0% to 3.2% during the same period. The increase comes amid continued volatility in global fuel prices, largely driven by the ongoing conflict in Iran. According to UBOS, annual energy, fuel and utilities inflation rose sharply from 6.1% in April to 9.1% in May 2026, signaling mounting costs for both households and businesses.
Registered headline inflation of 3.2% for the year ending this month, May, for the annual headline inflation from the annual inflation.
Fuel prices registered some of the steepest increases during the period under review. Petrol inflation jumped from 8.7% in April to 16.6% in May, while diesel prices rose significantly from 10.8% to 21.5%. Kerosene recorded the sharpest increase, climbing from 7.5% to 25.4%. Cooking oil prices also edged upward, reversing a previous decline from -0.1% to 1.1%.
Annual energy, fuel and utilities inflation for the year ending May 2026 we have registered 9.1% increase. This is higher than the 6.1% increase that we registered for the year ending April 2026.
Despite the rise in services inflation, annual goods inflation eased slightly to 1.7% in May, down from 2.0% recorded in April. UBOS attributes the moderation mainly to declining food prices, particularly maize flour, whose inflation slowed sharply to 0.9% from 5.9% the previous month. The reduction in staple food prices helped ease some of the border inflationary pressures.
Also, annual core goods inflation were first maize flour. Here the prices were up by 0.9% for May 2026 compared to the annual rate of 5.9% for April 2026. Fish, dried, salted, or smoked inflation changes, which were at 9.3% for May 2026 compared to the annual rate of 9.1% for April 2026.
UBOS further notes that the overall annual inflation rate of 3.2% in May 2026 was largely driven by the increasing transport costs as well as rising prices in housing, water, electricity, gas and other utilities. These sectors accounted for much of the upward pressure on consumer prices during the month. The report also highlights regional disparities in inflation levels across the country. Kampala's high-income group and Masaka registered the highest annual inflation rate at 3.9%, while Mbale Center recorded the lowest at 1.7%.
Kampala high-income and Masaka both stood at 3.9% for the 12 months to May 2026. So for Kampala, high income, it's compared to the 3.9% for the year ending May compared to 3.8% recorded in April 2026.
Meanwhile, inflation in the construction sector also increased by 1.1% in April 2026 compared to a 0.8% increase registered in March 2026. UBOS attributes the rise to increased prices of construction materials including diesel, cement, sand, clay, bricks and tiles, adhesive, sealants, water and grout.
We picked out a few items that significantly increased. We are having cement. Cement had an increase of 2.6%. for the year that in April 2026, compared for a 0.3% increase that was registered for the year that in March 2026. Paints and varnishes also had their prices go up by 1.7% for the year that in April 2026.
Economists now warn that continued instability in global oil markets could sustain upward pressure on fuel prices in the coming months, while likely affecting on transport fares, commodity prices, production costs and household expenditure. This is News at 8.